If you ain't a gator, you must be gator bait. If you ain't a gator, you must be gator bait.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is another episode of If You Ain't a Gator. Yet again, I got my boy Dylan with me today. We are going to go through talking about LSU. We're going to talk about the nasty Hurricanes down south in the game coming up this week. And we're going to talk about our coaches board with the hopes that Billy will no longer be here next season. Dylan, I thank you for joining me again. Unfortunately, we are sitting in the same situation as we were last week with absolutely no good news. So I'm going to let you kick us off with how you felt about the absolute tragedy that went on in Baton Rouge this weekend.
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, I'd rather get blown out than watch a game like we watched this weekend, where, again, we just beat ourselves and we lost the game and they didn't beat us. It was a really, really tough watch. I think Josh Pate hit the nail on the head. Like, it's really hard watching a defense of this caliber get wasted by an offense that's ran like this. I mean, this is a playoff caliber defense, potentially like deep run of the playoff caliber defense. Yep. Defensive backs look great. I mean, I have no complaints other than, on 3rd and 4, why are we giving a 10-yard cushion and backpedaling? And they're looking at the slot receiver every time, throwing it right over the middle on slant route. Like that's my only complaint. But you can't really complain giving up 2 touchdowns in 3 games. If you'd have told me our defense gave up 2 touchdowns in 3 games at the beginning of the year, I'd think that we're 3-0 right now. Realistically, I never thought that this offense would be this bad, and I never thought DJ would look this bad. But he looked really bad. So my thoughts are the use of personnel is just not very good. I think at the end of the day, it's hard to make a judgment on play calling whenever you're throwing 5 interceptions in a game. I think the play calling is, why are we throwing the ball that much when we have Jaden Ball in the backfield and he's as good as he is? He's the best player on our offense. Again, 2nd week in a row. Why can't we hand the ball off to him almost every play? If you do the math, you hand the ball off to him every play, he's going to get a first down. I think – let's look up his stats right now. I think, how many yards per carry do you have? Do you know?
I got the
He had 4.6 yards per carry, and we gave him 10 attempts.
Yeah.
Right?
46 yards.
Right. When your best player is getting 10 attempts to run the ball a game, that's pretty bad. And whenever you throw 5 interceptions, after you've thrown the 3rd interception, why do you say, hey, let's keep throwing the ball? Well, I don't get that. I would say let's run the football. It's the same thing with like the Georgia game last year. Whenever DJ got hurt with Raiden in there, I was thinking the whole time, why are we not running the ball every play? Like, we could run the ball and still score and win this game. I think you saw it last year when we did play Georgia, and we were giving Jacoby the ball and he was eating in the second half on that one try where we did score. But it's just super frustrating to feel like, I am way less educated in football than our head coach is, and I feel like I could have called a better game.
Yeah.
And if he is rusty, if DJ is rusty and he is lacking that experience that he had through the offseason, why are we throwing it 49 times?
Right.
I just don't get it. And why is our best running back getting the ball 10 times? I don't really understand it. It's really frustrating. Obviously, DJ is not all the way there. It kind of goes to the point, like, if he doesn't have all the reps and he's not ready yet, why is he out there? Or why are we using him the way that we are? I get that you think he's our best guy and he's our guy and he's a leader and you want to put him out there. I get that. Mm-hmm. If you're going to put him out there, why are you throwing the ball so much? I mean, obviously, as you can tell, like, defenses are playing him a lot differently. And to me, he plays like he has no confidence whatsoever. So,
none. See, I agree 10,000% with everything you said. And I'm just going to dive a little bit more into some points that And honestly, it's kind of crazy because one of these things just clicked in my head as I was listening to you talk, just about our offense compared to their defense, a few different things. I sent a text out that said that our offense feels like a Taco Bell offense. It's all the same. It's just wrapped differently. And that's the problem with this offense, is that everybody knows what you're getting. You know what's going to be there. And it's just like, okay, which one of these? And there's just a couple of different options. There's no type of switch up. There's nothing. And now, and I'll be honest, like with the DJ throwing a lot, I think that Billy does pay attention to what the fans say. I think that he does also understand that, like, okay, we were like, well, why are we not throwing the ball deep? He's like, in his brain, he's like, okay, you want me to throw it deep? Here you go. Let me just sling it deep. What's mind-blowing to me is that we threw the ball more. Take Jaden Ball being our best offensive player out of it. We threw the ball more in a game against defensive backs that has a defensive backs coach who was on Billy's staff. And I'm like, you don't think that he knows what you're going to do? We as Gator fans know what you've done the last 4 years. You think that he doesn't understand what you're bringing to the table? He knows exactly what to tell those DBs. This is what he's going to tell his receivers to do. This is the routes he's going to run. This is a route tree he puts them in. Sit on this. Do not break on this, because this is what they're going to run. Okay, he's going to do post corner on this. When they're lined up in this set, he's got to be standing up there telling them, okay, this is what his receivers are going to do, because he doesn't switch anything up. And then yet, like you said, I don't give DJ the rust deal anymore, because I don't think rust is what he threw some of those passes. Like throwing into triple coverage, I'm like, you're just, and that's not even a gunslinger. I mean, Brett Favre was a gunslinger. You got different guys in the history of, I mean, Johnny Manziel, when he was at A&M, he was a gunslinger where he'd run around, he'd sling the ball down there. Those are like your gunslingers. This is just pure stupidity. And I hate to talk about him like that, because I still love DJ and I still believe in DJ. And I genuinely believe that there's other coaches out there that can improve him, because I think that this is a young man who's shook. I think that he knows coming into the season that LIU, USF, his coach does not let him barely throw the ball down the field. When he does get his opportunities, it doesn't go well because he's not doing it much. So what's coming along with that? No confidence. What's Coach Nape let me throw? Okay, bubble screen. Okay, I'm going to throw a slant route. Okay, on 3rd and 7, I'm throwing a 2-yard out. He does not trust me. No matter what people think their connection is, there's no trust there. So now he goes out there and throws it 49 times, and now he's whipping it around and he's not making the correct reads. And I think those two things coincide. Billy Napier not putting him in a position where there's confidence there. And then now you got DJ. We know that his reads haven't been great. We saw it in the Tulane game. We've seen it prior to that. And I came on this podcast and defended him. But you don't get that defending anymore. That right there is just pure, you don't make some of those throws. I don't care if you have to just sling the ball out of bounds and just waste it down. It's better to waste that down and punt the ball than throw a pick six, or to throw the ball deep on a drive that we're moving down the field on, and you throw it into triple coverage. I can't remember who he threw it to. And I mean, it's literally like a pyramid wrapped around him. Like, what did you see there? What went, like, that's the thing I'm wondering. That's where I'm like, everyone's looking at DJ from the standpoint of like, is he hurt? Is there rust? Is there this? And I'm like, what's going on with his mental game? Like, where is his brain at? Because these plays make zero sense. Zero. Like, I mean, they are some of the worst decisions I've ever seen a quarterback make. It's like, and we laughed at Jackson Dart last year for throwing a pick in the game into the coverage that he did. And I'm like, we turned around, we got our quarterback doing it. The guy who we were claiming a Heisman for. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. And so defense played lights out to only lose by 10. And there's no participation award over here, but to lose by 10 in a game that 5 interceptions were thrown is mind blowing. Shout out to Cormani McClain for his chase down tackle that saved a touchdown. Shout out to everybody who from start to finish of that game, they played their hearts out, played their absolute hearts out. It just, and all for nothing. That's what's crazy about it, is all for absolutely nothing. But yeah, that's just my frustrating takes on it. I don't even have anything. It's hard to even say anything good about it because it's just year 4 of Billy Napier just feels like it feels like we're just still in the same rut that we've been year after year. And we gave him excuses all these other years, and it's just like you don't get them anymore. No more.
Yeah, it really pisses me off. A
Mhm.
lot of things. I mean, I don't know about you if you agree with me or not, but I think Aiden Mizell is by far our best receiver, and he was on the
Yep.
field 9 times. 9 times the entire
9
game.
times.
We threw it 49 times, and he was on the field for 9 of them. 9
Yeah.
plays in total. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, he
I'm
is
glad
our
you bring
best
that
receiver
up.
by far.
I have a PFF list here for our highest graded offensive players versus LSU. It was 10 snaps minimum. So Aiden Mizell, 88.7. Tony Livingston, 70.3. Jaden Ball, 69.4. So I'm just going to stop right there because I don't really need to go any lower. But your 2 highest graded players on this list are in the top 3, being Aiden Mizell and Jaden Ball. And what do? You got Jaden Ball with how many carries? 10?
10.
With a total of 46 yards when I need to see him at least in the 25 carries range. And then Aiden Mizell, who Billy Napier himself said that he has stuff to learn. I don't care what he has to learn in this moment here when he gets open and he is just a football player. Sometimes you got to just draw it up in the dirt and play backyard football and make it work to win football games. And Billy is so egotistical and will not break off of what he feels is right, and that's why his job is going to be gone. That's why he will. I'm going to say it now. There's no way he's the head coach of the University of Florida next year.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden could call me crazy, but I think Jaden could get us 120 every single game, and we just don't give it to him enough. He's got that breakout talent that every single time he touches the ball, I think he's one missed tackle away from breaking it all the way down the field. And we just don't give him enough opportunities to do that. I think he could get us 100. He's definitely 1,000-yard back in the season back. But we just don't give him the ball enough. It just doesn't make any sense, especially if your quarterback's struggling. I know that, if you don't want to bench your guy and he's throwing a lot of picks, like, why are we still throwing the ball, right? After the second or third one, why are we still doing it, right?
Yeah.
And, I'd love to be able to credit, LSU's defensive backs, knowing that Corey Raymond was at Florida and say that has something to do with it, but they were just poor decisions made, like poor throws, poor decisions made. I would say that game, he didn't look like a bad quarterback. He looked like a poorly coached quarterback. It looked like we took somebody from, we took a high school quarterback and put him on the field for the first time in Death Valley. Like he had no actual reps in college whatsoever. And to me, that falls on coaching more than it does him. That's a poorly coached player, what I was watching. He's got all the talent in the world. What frustrates me a lot is that we're wasting a lot of these guys' talents. And, I would not be mad if they left whatsoever. Usually I'd be a little bit hurt that they would leave, but realistically, to better your career, man, you should probably leave, right?
Yeah.
If I was Aiden Mizell, I would have been up out of here, to be honest with you. I mean, he's been probably our top 2, top 3 guy for the past 2 years, and he just never gets the ball, in my opinion. When he does, he makes magic happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's our best receiver on the team this year, and he saw the field 9 times, right? It just doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of things don't make any sense. I'm not the coach, but I could probably score with this offense, to be honest with you, more points than we've already scored. So
100%. And I mean, I feel like, and this is all this stuff is just kind of running through my brain. This is kind of how I work. Whereas just thinking things through, and this is just completely opinion based. It's just going off of what I feel about this. But I feel like Billy worked under people such as Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney. He worked under these guys who put players into the NFL, consistently put them into the NFL. And I feel like that's his mindset, is that like, I got to get them to where they're set for the NFL. I have to get them there. And he's completely neglected what his job is. Like, you're here to win football games. It does not matter what it sounds bad. Yes, you do get something from getting them into the league and seeing them do well in the league. It does help your recruiting, 110%. But it's not going to matter if they get there, but it's only getting there based off of their combine and based off of their pro days and based off of just the eye test, because that's not going to do anything, because people are going to go, well, yeah, we see that they're there and they're doing good, but they didn't do anything when they were in college. You have nothing to show for yourself. You have a under 500 record. That's number one. Number two, why are players going to want to go play there when they are looking? I can't comprehend. They're watching Aiden Mizell make plays when he gets out there. They're watching him catch touchdown passes, and they go, what is he rewarded with? Sitting on the sideline. That's what you're rewarded with. At some point, look at Tennessee's offense. The Tennessee Volunteers offense is not suited for a NFL type of play style. I think that it shows that receivers are good, but it is a very not NFL friendly type offense. But you know what Hupel does? He doesn't care. He goes out there and he competes in football games and even wins football games. To be honest, if his kicker didn't shank it, he beats Georgia, and this is even more of a different story. It's just there's certain coaches who got it. They got that it about them. Lane Kiffin, backup quarterback. What's he do? He goes out there and slings it around, but if he can't sling it around, he turns around and hands it off and makes it work. But he's a offensive mindset to do that, to be able to make an offense work. Whereas Billy, I'm like, what are we doing? It makes no sense. I feel like in any way, shape, or form, no matter what you do, if you look at something and go, for example, if it's like a name brand type deal, right? You got Nike, Adidas, Puma, and then you have a Walmart brand. If whatever you need to get the job done, if you're working as a server in a restaurant, you're not going to wear Nikes because you're going to slip, or Adidas or Puma because you're going to slip. You're going to wear whatever those restaurant shoes are that are from Walmart because they get the job done, even if they don't fit the eye test or look at what you want. And that's Aiden Mizell. He may not be what Billy thinks, but I'm like, he's doing what you need him to do. He's getting the ball in his hand. He's catching the ball. I guarantee you, if you put him in Vernell Brown's shoes against USF, he makes that catch. I just don't get it. Don't get it, man. It's sick. But tell me, it's so hard to even talk about it, because I don't even want to bring up any good, because I don't want any type of leeway given to Billy. But what are your three bright spots from the LSU game?
None on offense. Nothing on offense whatsoever. Yeah. I think the ability to have your defense stay as bought in as they were throughout the entire game, and for them to give up realistically 13 points because you had the pick six. Mm-hmm. For them to give up 13 points at Death Valley against the number 3 team in the country is super impressive. Yep. I would say defensive backs played really well. I feel like we stopped the run pretty well. They had under 100 yards rushing. So, I mean, those are my bright spots. But, I mean, I couldn't help but just be pissed off the entire game. I mean, offense-wise, we moved the ball. I mean, we had 23 first downs to what I think they had 9. Mm-hmm. 9 first downs maybe. They had 10. Mm-hmm. They had 10 first downs, and we had 23. And we had 1 touchdown. That's pretty bad. That's pretty
More
bad.
Than pretty bad. That's disgusting.
Yeah. So, like, to me, like, we're just really bad at putting points on the board and take advantage of the opportunity. We're just really, really bad at that. Yeah. So it's hard to find any bright spots from this weekend because we just gave the game away.
Well, and what's insane too is Brian Kelly almost Brian Kelly He almost did what Brian Kelly is known for. We have talked about this. He loses ball games. So what Brian Kelly does, it's what he's known for. People have talked about it. It's why it didn't work out at Notre Dame. And he ended up making the jump to LSU. I think they thought maybe a change would work, but he is the worst for it, for losing big games. And I'll be honest with you, I think that their defense is good, but I don't think it's what like Elite College Football posted on Instagram, that like their defense is elite. And I'm like, I don't think it is. I don't think their defense is as good as it is that we gave them those passes. And I'm not saying this as in the sense that we did anything good. Our offense is that bad, and Billy is that bad at scheming up a play. But also on the flip side, I think that their game against Louisiana Tech last week, I don't think it was as much as, and this isn't even trying to knock our defense. I think our defense did what they were supposed to do, but I just don't think LSU's, and this is me saying this in the sense of like how bad Billy is. I don't think LSU's offense is that great. I think that they're going to get beat this year. They're not going to go undefeated. I don't think they win the national championship. I think that they are just not a good ball club. I just think we're that much worse. And I don't know if you agree with that, but I just don't think their offense is impressive. They killed us up the middle the whole game. I feel like they just continued. That's where they got so much of their progression and so much of their positive plays was right in the middle. And I'm like, why are we not sitting a linebacker right there? Or why are we not dropping a safety down? Because they're not going over the top. Have a safety break on it one time. I guarantee you can pick it. But it's like there's nothing. And again, the defense did what they were supposed to do. They did as much as they could to keep them out of the end zone. And yet, Brian Kelly literally gift wrapped the game and was like, here, Billy, take this. And Billy was like, no, I don't want it. Me and DJ do not want to win this ball game. And, dude, it's sick.
It's just so frustrating. That's why I said I'd rather get blown out than have every opportunity to win the game and we just down our leg. So it was very frustrating. I'm pissed off that I spent my hard-earned money buying season tickets. Yeah. Right. I want my money back. I'd rather not waste my weekend going and watching something as rough as that. So
you deserve a discount for next season with whoever the head coach is, because this is just a absolutely piss poor performance. It's just this season. I cannot look at this schedule and like confirm where I'm like, that's a win. That's 100% going to be a win. I just do not see it nowhere on that schedule. And that's what's scary. Mississippi State looks good. I think Kentucky can beat this team the way they're playing. But moving forward, well, that's just the frustrations. I think you can tell from myself, yourself, that, and just even scrolling through Twitter, all of that, everyone is frustrated by this. It is absolutely a disgusting display of football that's being put on. And for Billy to talk that he did, he's just not ready for this level. But with that being said, I want to talk about Miami, and I also want to touch on Billy's job a little bit after that, because I have an opinion on all of this. But it's so hard to even talk like it. We've been talking here. What do you think with the Miami game, if anything? What can we do to even possibly weather the storm, to put it pun intended? What can we do? Because I hate to say it, and I'll be a man and stand up here and say I was wrong. I made a comment and said that this team is not going to be a Cam Ward led team. And to be honest with you, I was right, because they're definitely better. Like, this team just looks better, and they're winning ball games they should. They're beating teams badly that they should. So what do you think we can do to be able to pull off the upset somehow?
To be honest with you, man, like I still have the opinion that we have such a talented team that every game is winnable for us still going forward. My thought process now is, what are we going to do to throw the game away this game?
Yeah.
Right. So I lose confidence in our ability to coach the players that we have and put them in the positions to win. So Miami looks better than LSU, in my opinion. Like, Miami's front on both sides is really good. I'd like to say that, man, I would love to see us run the ball, but their defensive front's going to be way better than LSU's, in my opinion. And throwing the ball right now scares me. I have no confidence in DJ whatsoever. So I don't really know, man. I'm that's why I'm not a coach. I don't know what we needed. I think our defense will play well. I think we need to limit the explosive plays, and I think we need to limit the turnovers. That's just about it, right? Honestly, we need the defense to win the game for us, right? We need to scoop and score. We need to pick six, because we're just not finding the end zone from the offense. You know, to be honest with you, I've lost all hope. To be honest with you, and it's pretty sad that a part of me is like, if we lose more games from now on, he's for sure going to get fired. Right? Part of me wants him to lose games because I want him to get fired. That's pretty sad as a fan. I definitely don't want to lose to Miami. I definitely don't want to lose to Georgia or Florida State. If we can win those games, I'd be really happy. But I think our defense needs to dominate, and I think we need to turn the ball. I think we need Carson Beck to turn the ball over a bunch. And I think we need to put pressure on him and make him turn the ball over like he did against us when he played for Georgia last year. So we made him look really bad. And I think that we just need to do every single thing we can possibly do to win the game. I mean, if you watch Georgia Tech, like Brent Key's one of my coaches that I wouldn't mind having. He just does whatever he needs to do to win the game. Same with like Kirby. I mean, if you watch Kirby, there's so many games that he should have lost through his career, but they just find the way to win games. Just like this past weekend when they played Tennessee, they just find a way to win games, and we just don't have that attribute. At least I haven't seen it. So I just feel like this is one point I forgot to talk about. I just feel like we've just been gaslit. We've been gaslit for 4 years. We've just been told excuses and excuses and excuses, and I'm at the point where I've looked back this past week and I'm like, you know what? How many coaches, go into a program and turn it around year one? How many good coaches have done that? And there's been a good amount of coaches that have done that. And then how many quarterbacks come back from an injury and look that bad? Not many of them. I can't tell you a performance where a quarterback played that bad, especially one that was a Heisman contender, right? Yeah. That was as bad as they get. So I don't know. I just have no faith in this coaching staff, and I'm tired of being gaslit. I'm tired of all the excuses that's made. So
no, I agree 100%. I'll be 100% honest. I've said at one point in time that I don't predict wins or losses. I fully believe that we're going to get embarrassed. Mario Cristobal knows what this rivalry means. He cares about this rivalry, whereas Billy just does not have that oomph to him to want to. I kind of saw it, I guess, when we beat Florida State, and he kind of was like, oh, hey, don't plant that flag. But I think it was kind of like, hey, plant it. But he just, I don't know, the negative records against our rivals, it just doesn't sit well with any of us that are Gators fans. We have games. It's funny that you say that because you and I are like right there on the same level of a Gator fandom. And I literally said to my wife, I'm like, if we can win Miami, Georgia, and Florida State, I kind of was joking, but also I'm kind of like, I'm not too much joking. If we could win those three, I would almost consider like, okay, maybe one more year if you hire an OC. Like, that's just, I know, I don't want it either, but it's just like, that's how much those games mean. And it's just like, but the reality of it is we're not winning those. And we can't win those because we're going up against better coaches. You have Mario Cristobal in year 4 at Miami, just like Billy Napier is in year 4 at Florida, and it is complete and polar opposites. Virginia Tech just fired their head coach after year 4 because he's not getting it done. That's a football program that cares about winning. And it's like, I don't know if Scott Strickland really does care about winning as much as he cares about a buddy system being there. But I'm just led to believe I don't feel like Scott Strickland and Todd Golden are kicking it at the house on a Tuesday afternoon. Whereas, like, if you were to tell me Scott Strickland and Billy Napier are hanging out, I'd be like, yeah, I believe you. Like, they seem like they could be pals. Whereas Todd Golden, like, he just cares about winning. He cares about basketball, cares about winning. All that other stuff is outside noise. But when he's on the court and what he needs to get done, I've said it prior to this, they go in at half, make adjustments, come out, and they smash people in the second half. We don't do that. And this game, like you said, you got to force Carson Beck to turn the ball over. I don't think that Miami's put him in positions to do that. We, as rivals of Georgia, and obviously now it's rivals of Miami with him being there, but him being at Georgia, if we're being realistic, if we're being football fans and not just a fan of our team, football fans, his receivers had a ton of drops. I don't think he had a lot of confidence. He is oozing with confidence now. He's got receivers like Malachi Toney who's catching the ball and making something happen with it. He's putting the ball deep. I mean, they threw the ball deep against USF, and USF's DBs attacked the ball like no other, and they did what you should do to a USF program. I think USF has a decent program, but when you are a playoff contender, possibly national championship contender team, which we considered ourselves at the beginning of the season, that 49-12 is what you do to teams like that. And I just don't see it happening. Like, I don't see a way. They're going to try to embarrass us. And to be brutally honest, I kind of hope they do, because I hope that that's the final straw. I hope that I wake up Sunday morning and get that alert that it's like Billy Napier has been released of his duties as the Florida Gators head coach. Whatever it's going to say, I just want to see it, because it's sick, man. I just this Miami team we're about to go face is better than that Miami team we faced last year. I'll be honest with you, this team looks like they got something about them. And
it's crazy though. Every single game, to me, like I said, on our schedule is winnable for the rest of the year. It's so crazy to me that our schedule is so tough that we could have such a bad 2 games that we had right now and win out the rest of the season and still be in the playoffs, still be a top seed in the playoffs. That's crazy to me. The chance of that happening after these first 2 games, very, very slim. How much can you change in one game?
Yeah.
How much? Can't change that much, to be honest with you. All the changes that should have been made during the offseason wasn't. So it's almost like we're going through our offseason and through the growing pains during the actual season, like we didn't have an offseason whatsoever. So we have the personnel to win every single game, or at least compete in every single game. We just don't use it, and we just don't use it. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out what it does, what you can do to win a football game with our personnel.
Yeah.
So in Miami watched that USF game. They did all the right things. They ran the football. They opened up the field. They threw it. Like, they did all the right things. They didn't make mistakes. Their defense played really well. They controlled the line of scrimmage. Like, they played really good football. And that's how I can credit Mario Cristobal, is he's really built up the trenches at Miami. And that kind of scares me with our offensive line of who's gonna take on Ruben Bain, because that's a grown man right there, and that scares me. Who's gonna stop Ruben Bain from getting to DJ? And how is DJ not going to panic? Because a lot of the times these past 2 weekends, it just seems like he panics, right? He goes to that primary option or that first option after he goes through his first progression. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be a tough one. I'm still optimistic that we can win this game this weekend, because I really want us to win. I want to be happy, because my Jags just lost. My Jags might suck, and my Jags and Gators suck. It's a rough season for me. We only get 12 of these a year, so 12 weekends out of the year, and it sucks for them to be 12 rough ones.
We
So
look forward to it longer than we get it. And that's the problem with and that's the passionate side of it. Like you and I wouldn't take time out of our day to get on a camera and talk about this if we didn't care about it. And this is what we're getting. That's the thing. Like I feel like I what's really frustrating is the fact that you have Billy looking at his players and going, well, you're not executing. We got to look at this. Look, you're not executing here. You're not doing what you're doing here. And I have yet to hear Billy take any type of self-blame at all. I mean, and if someone can pull me proof from this season where he's taking blame, all I ever hear is the same stuff we always hear. I'm going to go back and look at the tape. I think there's a lot that we're doing. And, you know, today at his press conference, they got on Graham about the question being, have you considered or do you think that putting Aiden Warner or Harrison Bailey in there who have more reps? And I think what he meant by that, and I'm not defending it, I think he knows it was a silly question, and Billy kind of made him feel stupid about the question, which is fine. It's the only spunk I've ever seen out of Billy. But what he meant by it is that people who have college reps, Harrison Bailey is like a sixth-year senior. So he has reps in football, and he's like someone who's comfortable because DJ doesn't look comfortable. And then all he said was, you think they have more reps than DJ? And then said, Trammell is our backup. And that's fine. And it's like, why are you even mentioning Trammell then? Because you know you're sticking with DJ. And just say that then. With his question, just say, nope, haven't considered it. DJ is the guy. Just stand on what it is, because you're going to live and die by this ship. Like, you're going to live and die by the sword, and that sword is going to impale you. Like, trust me, it's going to kill you. You're going to stab yourself with it. Because I agree with what you said. Even if you don't take DJ out, that's fine. If you believe that DJ was the guy, why are we not handing the ball off more? And what leads us to believe going down to Coral Gables that we're going to hand the ball off more and it's going to make any type of difference? Because again, I just think that Miami, as it looks right now, this is going to be the best team out of the stretch that we're about to be on right now. This is going to be the best team that we're going to play out of this. It was a 5-game, 6-game stretch that we've talked about.
I agree.
And yeah, they're going to be the best team that you're going to face. And I'm telling you, I fully believe this in everything in me, is that they are looking to embarrass us again because they know what it means. 100%. And like you said, our O-line couldn't stop USF from getting there. Couldn't stop LIU from getting there. How are you going to stop this Miami D-line? You're not going to. So how is DJ going to handle that pressure? Because I will guarantee you our first offensive drive, the first time that DJ drops back to throw that ball, they are going to all-out blitz him, and they're going to force him to put that ball into a bad situation. Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, I'm the type of person, like, I hate the talk of taking out DJ or taking out like a starter and putting in Trammell, but I'll think of it in like a baseball perspective. Man, I'm a baseball guy. If you got your ace in there and he's throwing meatballs across the plate, giving up a bunch of home runs, that coach isn't going to let him sit in there and keep throwing the balls over the plate if you don't have his stuff. He doesn't have the confidence. He's going to walk out there and he's going to go just like this. Like I need
get him out of there.
Yeah, get him out of there. Realistically, give me the ball. Nice job. We'll put you back in there another time. We'll give you another chance. Like, at least give him like a mental break, right? You can even give Trammell like one drive. Like you can have a plan in place where you give him DJ gets the first 2 or 3, and then you throw Trammell in there and just give him like a mental break. But like something needs to change, and if he's not all the way there, like you got to do what's best to win the football game, in my opinion. And you got to put the best guys out there at this moment in time. Not who's the best. Who do I think is the best guy long term? It's who's the best guy right now. Who's going to win me this football game right now, right? And that's DJ, then great, prove it, right? Show me that that's the case. But if not, if I was a coach, I would you got to earn it. You got to earn your spot. You got to earn your spot in practice and on the field. I mean, heard the 1 day contract thing. That's not true. That It ain't true whatsoever.
Not
because
true.
You can't tell me that he goes out there and throws 5 picks against LSU and he's not playing really bad in practice. He's not practicing really well. Like it probably translates, to be honest with you. Either that or he's not the gamer we thought he was. And when the lights come on, he's not as good as we thought he was. But I would almost put a lot of money on the line that he's not practicing the level that he's playing the game. So
right.
I mean, you gotta stick to the 1 day contract thing and put the best guy out there at this point in time today. Who's going to win me the football game? If that's DJ, great, and I'll be happy with it. If it's somebody else, then I'll be happy with it too. But you just got to win football games at this point, and if you want to save your career, you got to do what's best. You got to try some things out. If my career is on the line, I'd be pulling out all stops. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it too. It's crazy. Is like, I feel like he has all these sayings: 1 day contract, spot the ball, scared money don't make money, and he ain't lived by not a single one of them. And I'm like, bro, it's cool to come up with these sayings. That's great. Like, that's awesome. I can come up with them too. I'm sure I've said plenty of them, but I'm just not in the spotlight that you are. And people could have grabbed those things from me saying that, yeah, you may not have meant for it to catch on, but you knew what you were doing, especially like to spot the ball. And I'm like, what did you, I mean, the defense is great. So I know they had to have been giving the offense trouble during practice. And so unless they just completely just let the offense do like the orange and blue game, let's let them score and make it look sexy for the fans out there. But I just feel like he does not live by what he says. And that's where my problem lies. He takes no accountability. It's never Billy's fault. And he's got siblings. That's what's crazy. Sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you look like you're like a spoiled brat, like, because you don't take any accountability. I'm like, you got siblings I know that you had to share with, and you had to make changes. Like, that's how it is when you have siblings. And not saying that on like only childs like that, they're all bad like that, but there are ones that you have seen. Shoot, there's spoiled kids that are siblings. And so it's just like, I guess that's more so what I'm looking at is the spoiled brat type of mentality, whereas he's like, and it's so annoying. I'm trying not to get too overly passionate about this, but you get fired by Clemson as their OC. You get fired by them for losing to USF because you didn't cut it. So now what do you get? You finally get the keys. You have the keys to the car. They give you this Lamborghini and you get to drive it. And it's like you don't know how to make it go. You have zero idea how to do it. You don't know that with the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. You have no idea what you're doing, but you lock the door and you don't let anybody get in. You have the only set of keys and you lock the door and you're like, no, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get it. It's not me. It's you guys. You guys did something wrong. You must not have given me the right key. You must not have given me a good car. Like, it's everybody else's fault but Billy Napier. And that's my frustration with it. It's like a spoiled brat mentality of, I got it. It's mine. I'm not sharing. And that's how he's looking at like the offensive side of it. And I'm like, you literally could make this be so much better if you would just have hired an OC. Drinkwitz said it. Drinkwitz for Missouri made the comment that he was worried too much about X's and O's. And when he gave it up, now look at him. I think they're like 20-9 or something like that, 24-9. I can't remember what the record is off the top of my head. But they're plus 500 since he gave up play calling. And it's simple as that. And guess what? Guess who's not on the hot seat? Drinkwitz at Missouri.
Yeah.
Real simple.
I think the longer what scares me is like the longer you hold on to him, the more this becomes the standard and the normal for Florida, right? We should be a team that should be itching for the playoffs every single year. My wife was asking me the other day, she's like, what was it like? Because she just got into football these past couple of years. She's like, what was it like whenever Nick Saban was at Alabama? And I was like, for them, not making the national championship game was a huge loss for their season. Like that was a failure for them. Like for us, we have the brand to where, and we have all the tools in place. What I believe at our university to where we should be at the very least, the standard is making the playoffs every single year, right? At least 9-10 win seasons every single year. We do get the rough end of the stick, like with our scheduling. A lot of the times, like we always have a really tough schedule, and it's going to get even tougher when it's 10 SEC games, right? It's 10, right? That they're moving to
9.
They're moving to 9. Okay, when they're
we're at 8 right now, moving to 9.
Yeah, when they're at 9 SEC games, like that's going to be really tough. But that's the standard. Like the longer this goes on, the longer we hold on to this guy, the more mediocrity is going to become the standard, and that's really what I'm scared of. I think he's the greatest snake oil salesman of all time, realistically. Like you said, he's got all these little sayings, and I'm guilty of buying into it because I'm always going to be optimistic, and I want my Gators to be good, and I buy into it all the time. And we get fooled. We get fooled all the time.
Yep.
To be honest with you, and I think it just a massive change needs to be made, and I think that we no longer can be scared of losing players. It can't be about what players we lose. I mean, we're the University of Florida. We're gonna attract good talent. Let's get somebody who can win with the talent that we have, or that we're left with at the very least. Right? We got NIL realistically could help us out with keeping guys, bringing guys in. We're always going to have really good talent. We can't be scared to lose people. Right?
Exactly.
So change definitely needs to be made. And I think, it's as clear as day. It needs to have happened yesterday, to be honest with you. So I learned something too. I learned that the transfer portal opens for a period of time whenever you fire a coach mid-season.
Right.
That players can transfer out and maintain a red shirt. I did not know that.
So I think there's like a little bit of there's a catch to it. And that's kind of a perfect transition. We'll talk about this real quick and then we'll move on to our coach list. But I don't fully know, but this is just what I think, because if you play 4 games, your red shirt is burned. So you can transfer out, but I don't think you can't go immediately play anywhere, or you can't, because I think that if you do it before 4 games, I feel like you can transfer right away. But in this scenario, I think that might be what they're looking at is like, okay, this Miami game is game 4. And then if you do fire him, it causes players to stay. They may not play, but it at least gives time for a new head coach to come in at the end of the season and talk to these guys and kind of give their, hey, listen to what I have to say. I could be completely wrong about that, but it kind of seems that I would hope that that's what Scott Strickland's looking at, is like, what are these next games going to be? Okay, it burns red shirts. You can't transfer right now. Let's go from there. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
These kids are going to transfer out anyways. Like, if they're smart, they're going to do it anyways, especially with this coaching staff. I don't know how we've been able to maintain our recruiting class so far.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think it's going to last very long. It has to do something probably with NIL, realistically. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a recruit, I'm taking my talents elsewhere, realistically. Yeah. I'm scared watching this game and with the fear that my career will be wasted, realistically. So.
And it's going to happen. But yeah, transitioning into our coaching board, we'll go number 1, number 2, number 3, and we'll just kind of touch on them real quick on why they're there and what we feel. I'll let you take the floor with who you're. And this, guys, just so you know, this is subject to change. Hear us out. We have a long season left, and we can't hire anybody until the off season. So I would like to kind of if we change it, we'll talk about it, whatever the case may be. But who is your number one on your coach list right now?
I think it's, to me, there's no glaring number one. I think the coaching board this year is a little bit different than it was last year because some guys who I'd have liked are a little bit more established. Like I think Lane Kiffin is going to come to Florida now after another year being at Ole Miss, and they're kind of on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I don't think we get him. Dan Lanning would be like a home run hire for me, but he's not going to leave Oregon. Like, Oregon's got good money, and he can kind of power through that conference realistically. Mm-hmm. Like, do I think he'll leave? Probably not. So when I think of like realistic coaches, like Brent Key, he's 7-1 against ranked opponents, but the thing that scares me is he's 14-15 against unranked opponents. So he wins the games that he's not predicted to win, but doesn't win the games that he should win. So that scares me a little bit. To me, like, when I look at a coach, I want a guy who's proven in the SEC, who's mm-hmm. proven in a big conference, and not a guy from Louisiana Lafayette who's gotten fired at Clemson as the offensive coordinator because it didn't work out there, and he was an analyst at Alabama. It's not like we're getting one of Alabama's coordinators. We're getting an analyst. So, and a guy who's just not proven as a head coach realistically. Like, he did good at Louisiana Lafayette, but like, was he proven? Right? Has he been proven big time football? Right? And we gave him a shot at Florida. That's why I was a little confused when we hired him in the first place. So to me, like, you got Lane Kiffin, Brent Key, and then I like Glenn Schumann. He's the defensive coordinator for Georgia. He's been around winning culture. I think he's one of those younger guys. Always like a defensive-minded head coach. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, like, those are my three guys, and am I solid about them? No.
Yeah. So we'll just do that then. Get 1 through 3 right now. It's subject to change. Out of those, you would say Brent Key. Then who would be 2?
I would say Lane Kiffin's my number 1.
Okay, so Lane Kiffin, Brent Key.
I don't think it's realistic. I think it's Lane Kiffin, Brent Key, and then probably Glenn Schumann.
So my 3 and my number 1, and I'll give a couple reasons why I actually think he will come. My number 1 is Lane Kiffin. The reason I think he will come is because I've heard that he has his baby mama here and his kids are here and he wants to be closer. His son, Knox Kiffin, is a massive Florida Gators fan. And I think that it kind of all ties together. Another thing is that I know that he knows, that Lane knows, that Steve Spurrier is here. It's one of his idols. It's someone he'd be working closely with. He could pick his brain. They could bounce back and forth. It's just he's expressed it's a dream job. I definitely think he would come. Now, what does it take to get him here? I mean, he ain't gonna come here on no bogus contract. So you gotta pay him. I mean, that's my biggest concern. I don't think I think if it's a handshake deal, money out of it, whatever, just like you hand him a blank check, whatever, just take money out of it. Actually, when it comes to him wanting to coach here, I think he wants to coach at the University of Florida. Now, will we pay him that much to come here? I don't know. That's my biggest problem. I think that has to play a part in it. And I think that we can't go and kick the hornet's nest by thinking because they know he wants to be around here that you're going to get him on some discount deal. It's not. You're not getting him on clearance. You're going to have to pay him. That's who my number 1 is. I think you need an ego here. I think you need someone who's cocky and knows that they're good. He kind of falls into that Brian Kelly situation of they're known to lose big games. But then last year he proved he can win games. So I'll be 100% honest. In today's day and age, if he drops one game, but he gets us to the playoffs and gives us a shot, then I'm cool with it. And I think that people look at recruiting and be like, well, he's a transfer portal guy. I've said that. I've heard others say it. but he's trying to recruit people to Oxford, Mississippi. And it's like, I get it. It's a nice job, but it's not the University of Florida. You are trying to recruit Florida guys to come to Mississippi, whereas you can try to get these Florida guys and be like, hey, come up here to Gainesville. And you know you're going to score. You want to score points? I'm Lane Kiffin. I'm going to score points for you. But that's my number one. I actually do believe that if he's a real option, I think we go get him.
I think there's a better chance of getting him last year than there was this year, for sure.
I agree.
My toss up with him is like, what if his team's in the playoffs this year?
Yeah.
What if Ole Miss makes the playoffs? Is he going to want to leave? Right?
Who knows? Yeah.
Is he going to want to leave a good situation, a good established situation? I don't know. I would love for him to come here. His thing with like winning the big games, like he's at Ole Miss, like it's a good SEC school, but obviously not Florida, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he was at Tennessee, and it was kind of a failure there, but he was young and he's grown up a lot in his career, and I think he's kind of figured it out. I think if he went to Florida, I think that would change, to be honest with you, with his ability to probably be able to recruit out of the state of Florida and recruit people to Gainesville is a whole lot more appealing than going to Mississippi, to be honest with you. And I think that he would get the guys in that he would want. And he would be – I don't know if Scott Strickland would like him because he's a guy that does what he wants, right? And Billy Napier seems like a guy that, wants to be pals with Scott, right? Wants to be on his good side. And I think Lane is a guy who does what he wants. I think that's why Dan Mullen didn't work out. Dan Mullen was an introverted guy, and him and Scott, I feel like, didn't get along. So, does Scott make that decision? I don't know.
But I'll tell you this.
I think the boosters are willing to pay the money, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're willing to pay. But going off of what you said, I think if you look at our basketball coach, look at our baseball coach, look at our softball coach, I think all three of them go to the beat of their own drum. I don't think they're best pals with Scott Strickland. And I think the one that you see is our least performing coach. So at some point you got to kind of look at that as like this isn't a friendship deal. And I would hope that Scott Strickland will absolutely step up and do his job. I hope for some reason this gets clipped and he hears this. Do your job, bro. Like, good gracious. This is not a freaking club where we go and hang out. This ain't the YMCA. You ain't hanging out with your pals. Do your job. This is a business, and it's a major business. This is not a little company. This is not a little, D2 college where you can be pals with them and whatever. Like, the fans kind of let it slide. They may get frustrated. No, this is a major university. This is a national championship contending university in every single sport that we have. We compete in every one of them, and we look like just bozos in football. So do your job and go and hire a real talent. That's why I feel like it won't be a him hire. I feel like it's a booster hire. If Lane Kiffin comes, I feel like they'll put the money together. They'll get him. Now, my number two is controversial. I know this before I say this, but I think it's only controversial after talking to so many different people and kind of just reading on Twitter. Number two is only controversial because of who the University of Florida is, and I don't know that they'll do it, but this is why it's my list. But I think John Gruden, number two. I think that he's a football guy. He went to Georgia, and he expressed how much he would love to coach in the SEC. He said, I would love to coach in the SEC. Who wouldn't love to coach in the SEC? Granted, he said Georgia, but he also said, I want to coach in the SEC. Why would he not? He lives in Tampa. He's a stone's toss away from up to Gainesville. So, cool. Still in Florida, move up there. He was on Bussin' with the Boys, and Bussin' with the Boys asked him about being a college coach. And they said, what would you do in this day of NIL? Like, how would you handle that? And what did his response was? He said, I would take as much NIL money as the school offered me, and I'd go and buy every player I could. And it's like, that's what you have to do. That's what Dan Lanning does. That's what Ohio State does. That's what everybody that is a successful team right now, they take their money and they go buy players. if you want more money, cut off some of this 684 staff members that we have, Billy, and go buy some more players, because 5 stars, don't care. I get it. There's certain players that do great, but at the end of the day, you need 5 stars to be on that squad to be a national championship contender. On the flip side, I think John Gruden's easy because he has no other job right now outside of Barstool. You don't have a buyout. You don't have to wait for him. Like you said with the playoffs, you don't have to wait through the college playoffs. But I think the thing is I feel like with the transfer portal and the way it works, I don't think we have to worry as much about Lane Kiffin in the playoffs as much as we would have to worry about the next guy that I'm about to say. This one, I don't think I've seen anyone talk about, but it's Cliff Kingsbury. He's the OC at Arizona. He's had head coaching positions in college. He's been the guy in NFL. I think that he didn't work out as a head coach in the NFL. He's a great OC, but I think he could come back down to this level where it's lesser talent. At the NFL level, it's so much harder because everybody's the best at their position. Whereas a step down to college, I think you could make it work again. He's an offensive mind that actually has a legit offense, not a, as Silk from Stadium and Gale says, a Waffle House menu that Billy Napier has. He's a legit play caller. I think that he is in the mindset of just that. Would he be willing to recruit 365 days a year? I've said it time and time again. Whoever is the head coach of a college, you better wake up that morning and you better wish those recruits wish those recruits Merry Christmas before you wish your own kids. It sucks to say that, but that's what the reality of this job. And again, you're getting paid millions. I think your kids are going to be okay. You'll tell them next, but that's the reality of it. This list is obviously, I'm open to changing it. I'll say this before we get off here. There's one name that keeps getting tossed around that outside of him being an alum, I absolutely do not want him to be the head coach of the University of Florida, and that's Jed Fish. I think that is – I do not see what people see in him. He has a under 500 record, an under 500 bowl record, and I posed the question on Twitter and said, outside of him being an alum, why do you guys want him? And everybody said, well, if you do a deep dive into him, you'll see why. And I'm like, so, okay, I did my deep dive and I still don't see it. What are we doing here? But, yeah.
That's honestly how I feel about John Gruden, is I really don't want him to be our coach. Because right. I have this toss-up with guys transitioning from the NFL to college. I feel like it's two completely different things. I feel like a lot of people think it's similar. Like, has John Gruden done it on this level? And coached at an SEC school before. And I mean, there's so many different things that he would have to do. I think he'd be a great X's and O's guy, but he would have to hire every single person in place to help him understand like how this college thing works. And for me, like, I think it wouldn't be an instant change if he came on. Like, I think it would take him a little while to figure it out, like figure out how this college game works, because it is way different than the NFL. Like, same with probably Cliff Kingsbury. Like, has he I don't know, has he coached has he been like a head coach in the college before?
Yeah, so it was, I want to say it was Oklahoma, right? Is where he was. Hang on, let me see. Cliff Kingsbury.
Even if he hasn't done it.
Texas Tech.
He hasn't head coached in the era of NIL and transfer portal. He hasn't been a head coach at a major program. So for me,
understood.
Like, both those guys are taking a risk of them having a long period of growing pains and hoping that they figure it out, and hoping it doesn't take them too long to figure it out. Again, like, they're great X's and O's guys, but with college, sure, it takes way more. There's way more that goes into it, because you're getting 18-year-old kids and straight out of high school, and you're teaching them how to be grown men and play football at the same time and learn responsibility, show up on time for practice, and you're paying 18 to 22-year-old kids millions of dollars.
I'll be
So
100% honest with you. I disagree with the teaching them to be men. That's not their job. Their job is to teach them to play football. I think that Billy does it, but I don't think that Urban Meyer was out there teaching them boys how to be young men. I think
he
that he
wasn't
just
for sure.
controlled them, and I don't think that Kirby Smart's doing it. I don't think Ryan Day's doing it. I don't think Dan Lanning's doing it. I think that they can do. I think they can do a certain amount. I think like Dan Lanning invites his athletes and his players into his home, and they do things there. And I think that they do somewhat of a job of that. But your job is to go there and coach football. And I'll give you a quick take before we hop off here. My reasoning for John Gruden, Cliff Kingsbury has at least coached college. And I get it, not in the transfer portal era or the NIL. That's fine. You hire people who can do that. Same with Andrew Luck taking over the general manager position at Stanford. He said, I had like 3 weeks to learn this, and this. You can learn it and you can take it on. It's just, are you willing to learn it? That's the biggest thing with it. John Gruden, football guy. He lives and breathes football. It's his favorite thing. You can tell when you hear him talk. He's passionate about it. But I think the biggest thing with it is that he knows how to relate. You know, I watch all of his stuff on YouTube. He's at the Jaguars facility and he's like, you hear him joking, but he's like, why are they playing this music? They need to play some Young Boy. They need to play this. And that's music that these athletes are listening to. He's relating to them. Does he have some off the field issues? Yes. But what's funny is that everybody likes to say that. And you watch him walk through these facilities and so many of these players, you let Billy Napier, before Billy Napier got hired as the University of Florida head coach, walk through a facility. Everyone's just kind of like, who's this guy? John Gruden's walking through there and everybody's like, well, he's controversial. He's this. And every one of them are stopping like, oh, like they're all excited to see him. So you mean to tell me that if he shows up in your living room with parents who watched him coach and then these players knowing who he is, he's got the Barstool, aura about him right now, he's going to be able to recruit. Like you said, is he going to be able to pick up on it? I think he will. But yes, that's the only transition, because I think that he would be willing to get in, like dig in, because everyone's like, well, you can't yell at these guys. You can't yell at these kids anymore. Okay. Listen to Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart digs into these boys and yet gets everything out of them, because sometimes that's what you need. If they can't get taken being yelled at, I don't think we want them to play football for us. Just being honest.
He would just need somebody by his side to make sure he hires all the right people, because he's not in the college game to know who's all the right people to hire. And as you can tell, all it takes is one bad hire for it to go south for you, right? Will Muschamp, we had a great defense. Offense was terrible. Wouldn't hire a good offensive coordinator
because he wanted to fire his friend.
Billy, he made the change to defensive coordinator last year, but he won't hire offensive coordinator, right? Or defense looks great. So it's just about, like, he would need somebody to help him make the right hires.
Right.
And put all the pieces in place, because it's not just your on the field staffing hires that he would have to do. It would be all the off the field stuff too, like your NIL, like your director of marketing, like all these type of things. Like, he would need somebody to help him with that. And like, again, he could probably be a really good X's and O's guy. It would just be if he could hire all the right people, and how long would it take for him to figure the college scene and college game out. That's my only concern, is I just don't I don't want a project, if that makes sense. I don't want somebody that's hopeful. I want somebody who's proven at the end of the day, right? Somebody who's proven they can get us 9-10 wins in the SEC at bare minimum, right? That's why I agree. That's why probably Lane Kiffin for both of us is at the top of our list.
Yeah, he's number one. I think that there's more to him than just being proven. I just like the ego about him. I like the Steve Spurriers of the world. I like the guys who, I'll be honest with you, it sounds terrible because some people are like, well, Billy's a really good guy. No, I want someone that's going to go out there, and if you can score 100 points, you put 100 on that board. I'll say this one last thing about Gruden. and even about Kingsbury in that mix too, is that Bill Belichick is older than both of them, older than Gruden by a little bit, older than Kingsbury by a lot. And they try to say, like, well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, he came to the college level, and yeah, they may not be winning. And I'm not saying that we're going to go be, if we hire Gruden, that we're going to be national championship contenders year one. But he's figuring it. He figured it out. Belichick figured it out. And I think that they could too. You're just right. It's like, do you make the right hires? And if you don't make the right hire, like if you realize this person is not doing right, are you willing to fire them? And that's one other point I have about Gruden is that Gruden has been a head coach where he's had to make that tough decision where like Mullen wouldn't, Muschamp wouldn't, and have to look at his friends. Because inevitably, at the end of the day, your coordinators, your positional coaches, they become close to you. You see them every day. Are you willing to take that moment and look at them and go, hey, you're not cutting it for this legacy and this career that I'm building? You're not cutting it. I have to let you go. It's nothing personal. I hope that we can continue this bond after this. And there's plenty of people that you see that Gruden talks to that he says on his own show, he goes, I had to fire that guy. And they're walking up to him, bear hugging him. And yeah, they may not have liked him at the moment. But the big thing for me is that I see that he made the decision. He fired them. He let them go. And that's not tough. That's not easy to do. It's a tough decision to do. But yeah, that's why that's my list right now. Like I said, it's subject to change, but I don't see Lane leaving that number one spot. That's the guy I want. At the end of the day, he's going to put up points and you're going to have great quarterback play. As long as he goes and gets him a great defensive coordinator, shoot, let's go hire Lane and let's just dial up Muschamp. What you got going on? What's up, big head? You want to come down here? You know what I mean? Like, give me a beast of a DC. Shoot, I mean, there's some DCs out there. Hit them up, see what they're doing, and let's go from there.
A lot of people throwing around Marcus Freeman too, but I don't think he would leave Notre Dame at all.
I don't think he's leaving there either. He knows what he has there. He's having a down year, but he'll go get a new OC this offseason. He's not going to leave that cupcake schedule to come coach in the SEC, especially not an SEC that just changed to 9 games. I think realistically, Lane Kiffin is that guy because he knows it's an upgrade in position where it's like recruiting and different things like that, but facilities and he just makes the most sense. He knows he's going to be comfortable. You're in the same group chats with the same coaches. You're going to the same media days. You don't have to learn anybody. They just have to learn that you're in different colors now. You're going to have to learn Ole Miss's coach. That's it. So, but yeah, I mean, that's really all I got. I'm hoping and praying that when we do this a week from today, I'm really hoping and praying that we got news that Billy's gone. As much as I'm like, there's nothing we can really do with it the rest of the year, but at least I know that we're being legit about football again, at least for firing him. We'll see if we're legit about football with who we hire, but yeah, I don't know, man.
If he wins this weekend, would you think something differently? Would you want to give him another chance?
No, I joke about that, but I think a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and then. And I think that that's kind of what last season brought us. And it'd be the same thing if would I be happy? Would I gloat on the internet? Of course I would. But that is just, I don't keep him because I don't think he can do it the rest of the year. I think if he wins, it obviously buys him more time. I think if he loses bad this weekend, I think he should be let go. I think Scott Strickland should do his job, but if he wins, buy him some more time and see what happens.
I don't know if we fire him yet. Like I think if he is going to get fired, it would maybe be a bye week. Not sure.
There is a bye week after.
Oh, it is a bye week. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot we had 2 bye weeks this year.
Yep,
that's right.
That's the interesting part.
Who would take over if he got fired?
I don't know. I feel like Ron Roberts probably. He's the one with the most experience. I was asked that question on the live after the game, and I threw some names out there. I think Ron Roberts is the one who, if Ron Roberts wants to take that upon himself, maybe Russ Callaway could do it. You just put anybody that.
I would see Jaluk take that before Russ Callaway, to be honest with you.
That's true. Yeah.
Makes a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah, you have options in there. I think what you do is you look at that room, and I guess even in the exit interview with Billy, you ask him, who do you feel is the most fitting in that room right now to lead this team the rest of the season and keep them together. And I think that's how you go about it. Who is the one person?
I think the wheels fall off no matter what.
It will, but what I mean is like who is going to be able to, at least if people stay there and have to play football. I mean, not everybody can leave, so you're going to have players that play football. So who can keep as many there as possible? If you put him in position for them to stay, who's going to be there at the end of it? And so I don't know who it is, but I just hope that, I don't know. I just don't see this Saturday going real well. And it's college game day is down in Miami. It just is not, I don't see it going well at all. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. We'll be back here next Monday, same place, same time, and just kind of see how this goes. But yeah, I don't know, man. It sucks, but we'll see. It's always go Gators. It's going to be go Gators no matter who's in that position, no matter what our record is. Orange and blue is in both of our blood, and we know that. But we'll see. It's time for this Billy Napier era to end. I'm ready for it to go. And good riddance. You're a great guy. You're a terrible coach. But that's all we got today, y'all. Like I said, we'll be back next Monday, both of us discussing how the Miami game went, see if we do have a coach, if we don't have a coach, and we'll go from there. But as always, you guys know how it is. If you ain't a Gator, y'all know the rest.